My name is Simran, and I've written a play called S.I.K.H, which stands for Silence, I Killed Her. It all started with an assignment at university where we looked at how race is represented through plays. And we had an assignment to do which was open up to our interpretation. You could do like a script, it was however you wanted to portray it. And I decided to do two scenes of my play. Me reading Gabriel Batty's play called Besti, which means shame, well, dishonour really, the actual literal meaning. And, you know, I read that and I was really shocked because it was based about my culture and what happens within a Sikh temple. And you have these religious leaders, and what you read through her play, which I do recommend you guys to read if you haven't read it already, is that it's something that opened my eyes. You know, we sometimes, I know for me, you know, my family keep me sheltered and protected from the world, and you don't really know what's going on unless you look for the answers, you look for what goes on in the world. So from reading her play, it made me think, okay, what is it about being Sikh? You know, what is it about being Indian? Is it the clothes that make you Indian? Is it the food? Is it the culture? Is it the Bollywood dancing? Like, what is it that makes you you? And it just made me question, like, you know, yeah, I have brown skin, but does that mean, what makes me Indian? Does it mean that I'm Indian because I can speak Punjabi? Does it mean, you know, I just had all these questions going through my mind, and then I was thinking to myself, what upsets me? What makes me, you know, really passionate and something that I want to change? And it was really, you know, this whole gender roles within society, and especially within my culture. Like, you know, how girls are supposed to have a certain role, whether they're, you know, a wife, a homemaker, looking after kids, cooking, you know, all the homely duties. You know, is that, you know, the woman's role, or is it the woman's role to go out to work and be career orientated? You know, so, and then you have the men who are very career orientated, the dominant, you know, characters, and the homemakers as well. They bring in the money into the home. So, you know, you've got these two different roles, and I was very curious to kind of break out of the role of what a standard, typical Asian girl is supposed to do. I wanted to break that and break, you know, the typical, you know, the role that the man takes. I wanted to say being stereotyped as being a housewife, or, you know, the man goes out to work. I wanted to say that is wrong. So I'm showing that through my play, as in, you know, some people still have this mentality that it's okay for a wife to stay at home and look after the kids and cook and stuff like that while he goes out to work. So for me, you know, if the girl is willing to want to stay at home and be traditional, then fair enough. But in some cases, there are women who do want to work, and because of their husband, they're not allowed to. So I kind of wanted to write that in my play. And the main thing, what sparked my play, was the fact that in India, baby girls are getting killed. You know, they are deemed as, you know, a responsibility, you know, worthless. And, you know, even women think like that in India as well. They want to have an abortion and kill the child if it's a girl. And whereas if they have a boy, it's very celebrated. You know, it's, yeah, we're having a boy, he can carry on the family name. You know, he can bring on the, you know, the wealth and properties and bring money into the home, whereas the girl is going to be, you know, a costing for the family, a worry. Like, you know, when she gets married, you've got to give a dowry, you've got all these costs when it comes to a girl. So, and, you know, in India, they don't want that. So therefore, unfortunately, they're killing the baby girls, and I think that's wrong. And I think that it doesn't matter whether you're a boy, girl, you should be loved equally, and just because you're a girl doesn't mean that your life is not worth anything. It is. And unfortunately, there are some people out there that do think, you know, having a girl is wrong. Like, oh my gosh, I'm having a girl. Like, they're not excited about it. They would be more thrilled having a boy. So that's what I'm trying to show. I'm trying to show the majority's views out there who still think, okay, a boy is amazing and a girl isn't. You know, we still have that today in today's society. And I just disagree with that, and that's what sparked me to continue on my play after I graduated from uni. I had 3 months, and I was like, you know what, I've got nothing to do, I can't find a job, so let me work on my play. And I ended up just writing every single night, I got so into it and so invested in my characters that I would, have to literally pull myself away from my laptop and be like, okay, you know what, you need to rest. Because I have something to say, and, I want to break those stereotypes out there. I want people to realise that, this does go on, because if they are anything like me, who's clueless, I just want them to know, because for me, I wouldn't have known about these certain situations if I didn't read Get Because Batsy's play. I wouldn't know, if it wasn't for documentaries as well, about young Sikh girls get groomed. I watched a documentary and I was like, what's this, And unfortunately, they do certain things, and it's just like these young girls are just pulled away from certain situations and into something else. So I wanted to be a voice. I want to celebrate women. I want women to have a voice and say that this is wrong, that they shouldn't allow themselves to be in a situation that they don't want to be, because at the end of the day, they do have a choice. Just because they have an arranged marriage, or they get physical violence at home, or whatever it is, you do have a voice. You can stand up for yourself, and that's what happens in my play. My main character, Balji, she, at the end of it, there is a redemptive ending. She says, you know what, I've had enough, and she realises that she is a human being. She, let herself go in the sense of, she was being dominated by her husband, but then she realises, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to pick myself up, and I'm going to carry on, and I want to help other women. I want to, stop what's happening to other women, what happened to her. And, it's amazing because she's a courageous character. She's, she doesn't give up very easily, because, sometimes in life people go through things and they're just like, you know what, if life is pushing me to the ground, I'm going to stay on the ground. But with her, it's like, no, I'm going to get myself back up. And that's what I love about her, is she's not someone who gives up so easily. She's going to fight till the end. And the fact that she helps other girls out there is something truly amazing. It just takes that one person to make a change. And I love that about her. And, we've got other characters as well. We've got funny characters, especially the mum. The mum and the daughter relationship is really hilarious. The way the mother is she's like, she's caring, but she's also very, rude and very upfront and blunt as well. And you just see these different characters come to life. And, it's amazing, seeing that in your head as you're writing. You're envisioning something that you write on paper. And the fact that it's something amazing and truly a writer will understand is, eventually when you have your characters and it develops, it's something that you can't believe that you have a play. Because, it started from 2 scenes, and now I've nearly finished the whole play, and I'm still writing more scenes. And I think, to be honest, I don't think I'll ever be finished with this play, because there's always so much more to add. There's so much more to write. There's never just an ending. It ends there, because even though it ends at a certain point, I'm already thinking about what can happen next, And that's what I like about it, because the audience are on the journey with the main character. They see how she grows, how she develops. She starts off from a 17-year-old young girl just in the middle of her A-levels, and you see her journey of how she has certain things happen in her life, and she's got to stop what she wants to do. She plans to go to university, but she can't. She has to stay home. She's got to look after her mum, bring money into the family. So you've got a woman already at a very young age being independent, working, getting money, looking after her mum, supporting the household. So already that is something that is giving women a voice, and already something that's out of the norm for a young girl to work. You'd always expect if you have a son, for the son to bring money in, But unfortunately, Diakol, the mum, she's only got one daughter, so the daughter has to kind of, step in and take the role of a son in a way. And you have that, and she's still a normal girl. She's still, Balji, she still has her friends, and, she's still a normal girl, but certain situations have to, make her grow up before her time. So you see that, and and you see what happens throughout her life and her journey, and it's interesting to see how she changes and how she evolves as a woman. And it's something that when you see it, it's very relatable. You can relate all the characters to somebody in your life that you know, and that's what I love about it. It doesn't have to be just because I've written it about Asians and Indian culture doesn't mean that somebody else out there doesn't relate to the certain situations or circumstances or how the characters are feeling within my play. It's something that relates to all ages as well. I mean, and it's something that we kind of all go through. Like, we all went through A-levels exams, we kind of know the pressure, we know when a death happens in the family, we've experienced all these kind of things. So it's not something that I've written about that's completely bizarre and nobody's able to relate to, because you can, or you can try and relate to it. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. We've already started auditions as well. We're still going to be holding more auditions to get more people involved. Last Saturday, on the 15th, we've had an interview with Kingsley as well. Such a great guy. It was so lovely to sit there with him and talk to him about my play and just his interest in general. And he spoke to the whole group as well. And it was nice to hear everyone's opinion of what they thought, and and just sitting there and just having a conversation and explaining where my inspirations came from. It started, with a university project, and now I have a whole play. So, I mean, the inspiration behind it is from people that I know, certain characters or certain traits that I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's not really based on my life, but it's kind of inspired by my life in a way, just by the people that I know, the way they think, or their opinions, and just culture in general of how society some people are very narrow-minded, and I'm just trying to get people to think a bit more outside the box, be more open-minded, and just kind of maybe break, this kind of gender role of, no, you're a girl, and, you've got to get married at a certain age, or you need to learn how to cook, or just things like that, because certain, people may not realise that certain things that you're saying, are very narrow-minded and are gender-based. You would not say to your son, oh, okay, you know what, you're getting married soon, you need to learn to cook. No one will ever say that. You'll never hear no Asian person say that. You'll hear them saying it to the girls, but you'll never hear it to a guy. So just things like that in passing and conversations when you listen to your family, or or anyone who's Asian in the Asian community, just makes you realise, it is quite very gender-based, the things that they talk about. And when you hit a certain age as well, especially the topic of marriage comes up, and especially not love marriage, it's always arranged marriage. So it's quite interesting, because there's always going to be conflicts, especially for girls within a westernised society as well, because my main character, Balji, she is westernised. Yeah, she may look Indian, she doesn't talk like she's Indian, she has a very British accent. She's brought up in a diversity of races within her where she lives. Yeah, she's invested in her culture, but she's not the typical Indian girl who's religious or anything like that. It's just based on the culture and and what she thinks of it and how she portrays herself. And just like my page on Facebook, and the reason why you should is because there's going to be weekly updates, not even, or maybe daily updates, just to keep you guys informed of what we're doing, and how we're doing, and just for upcoming audition dates as well, and rehearsals, and where we're going to be taking this. Also, when we film, where we're going to post our videos and things like that for you to stay tuned. So I hope you enjoy what I had to say, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys soon.